Hi, welcome to State of Faith News. I'm your host, Christine Bowen, and this is my mere co-host, David Bowen. Hi, David.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to be here.
Well, yeah, it is good to be here.
This feels really weird.
It is for you,
Right.
but apparently it comes natural for me, according to your friends. That's what your friends have been saying.
You're going back on. You're going back on the other show. What they said. They didn't say nothing about this one. How come you're the host?
Well, your friends said that I was a natural.
All right, fine. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I'm the boss today, I guess. Here at State of Faith News, we have incredible stories that a lot of them have come from our magazine, which is free. You can pick it up anywhere in Midland, restaurants, Faith News. And we like to bring guests on our show from the magazine that have incredible stories. And today we have an awesome guest with us today. He's a songwriter, a musician, and he's your friend.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to add?
Do I get to talk?
You can talk.
Oh, okay, great. Hi. Now I feel really weird. Yes, his name is Jeff Davidson, and he's my friend. He's also a songwriter, a musician,
Musician.
Well, he's magic too. He's here.
He's here.
He wasn't here before. Well, he's here today. He's a songwriter, musician. He's also a songwriter.
Why don't you introduce him?
Well, I'm a co-host. I don't have. Okay, fine. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Jeff Davidson.
Hey, David.
Pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure to be on the show. This is great.
Being a little goofy here, but you know,
That's all right.
I've been notched down a peg because of this young lady, right?
People's choice.
The people's choice.
The people have spoken, right?
They've
Yes,
spoken.
they have. Well, hey, go ahead.
Well, we have a ton of questions. You have a very interesting story, and your songs are very moving and powerful. And I want to know, and I think a lot of people that have heard your music are probably interested to know, why have you written these songs? Why these words? What has inspired you to write? How do you write them?
I tell everybody I just write them down. Some come through inspiration of listening to the preacher, through the Word of God, through the loss of loved ones in your life, tragic moments that you may have in your life. God inspires that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. There's a certain age that I started, writing these songs, but that definitely heaven inspired, and I'm just glad that God has used me, and just God just needs a willing vessel, and I've been willing to write them down and share with audiences across the nation, and God has breathed upon this music and this anointing, and I'm very, very humbled by it and very excited at the same time.
Have you been doing this long?
I have been singing, well, they tell me, instead of crying when I come out of the womb, they said I was singing.
They said that about me, talking.
Talking.
They talked about me having perfect pitch, singing on a little coffee table like we have in front of us here. My Uncle Ed was, that's what he did for his living, and they used to rehearse at the house there when I was little, and they used to get me up and sing. So I guess it all started. It's a God-given gift. Some people, go to school for it. They to do that, and then some people just have a God-given talent and the gift to do it, and it kind of just blooms like a flower does. And so they've told me, I could sing since I've been about 2 years old, and I started singing in church when I was 9. My grandmother Ashton raised me in church, and that's where it all started, was in church. And I sang my first, song, If That Isn't Love, that great song, If That
was your
Isn't Love.
first song?
That was the first song I ever sang in church. And
How'd that go?
They didn't take a love offering, but I don't know.
It felt good?
No, yeah, it felt great. And I just know that this is what God has wanted me to do, and this is my purpose and call in my life.
Do you play any instruments? I mean, you play piano, I know that.
I play several instruments. I started the guitar, and then when I went to junior high school, I picked up the trumpet, and I played in the church band. And then I started playing the piano, and so I play guitar, piano, trumpet,
High five
bass
on the trumpet.
guitar.
I did trumpet too.
Do you really?
You play
Okay.
trumpet?
I love the trumpet. I don't play much of it, and because I've given all my time, to the keyboard. But yeah,
Cool.
I play several instruments.
How old were you when you started writing?
How old was I? I started writing.
And who did you sing with? I mean, who did you?
I started writing when I was, I don't know, 17 years old. I believe I wrote my first song. I met this girl that we started our own church. It's a long story. We have a lot to tell you, but we started our own church. There was this lady that had been coming to our church and found out she had a sister, and her name is Debbie, and Sherry is the lady that came to our church. She put us together, and we went out, and not only did we become boyfriend, but I won her to the Lord, and she come to our little church that my mother and father had started, Bible Truth Tabernacle. And so we ended up getting married, and we were married for 26 years until she ended up passing away of breast cancer.
That takes us to the in-depth of your testimony.
Yes.
Can you share, and we don't have a lot of time, but can you share that story with us about your wife and the losing of your wife? And
sure. We were young, we were years old, and in love, and married, and at the end of it all, God blessed us with a beautiful daughter. She's 33 right now. Her name's Leah. And then I have a son that just got married last June, and his name's Jonathan. And hi to Jonathan out there, and Sarah, and then Benjamin and James, and then the last is Christian. I tell everybody he's the only Christian in the family.
There you go.
But he's 16 years old.
So something tragic happened in your
Something
ministry.
tragic happened. I was with a dear friend of mine that is with the Blackwood Legacy. His name's Rick Price, and sang all over the country with Rick. And one night we were out in California, Salinas, California, and I'll never forget it. It's something when you're in your third song in an outhouse and a pastor comes and gives you an emergency note, and I walk back to the pastor's study there, and my dear wife was sobbing, and I said, hey, is it one of the children, or something like that? And she says, no, it's me. They found a size 4 a tumor in my breast, and they want to do a mastectomy on me, and you got to get home. And when you get that kind of news, I fell to my knees, and ended up these people that I don't even know that we were just singing there just converged and just prayed with me and made sure that I got home, and I was off the road for quite a while with Debbie, and we went to she had the mastectomy. We went to the Oasis of Hope Hospital between loved ones, our beautiful church, Bible Truth Tabernacle, the saints there. We raised money, $20,000 it took at that time. And I know I didn't have that kind of money, and
Sure.
if it wasn't for beautiful people like that. And we went over this with her for a long time. We actually, the whole trip encompasses 21 days. Dr. Contreras, it's Oasis of Hope in Tijuana, Mexico. And saw all walks of life, all ages of life, 3 floors full of cancer patients. And so she come home, and just, I don't even think Debbie lived another 4 or 5 weeks. She went to the hospice in Davidson, Michigan, and I say, David, it's unbelievable pain and unbelievable sorrow when you see your soulmate. Whether we're believers. We're going to go, it's wonderful, but
Sure.
God picks a rose, and it's His timing, and but I tell everybody, I said I held her hand when I told her I loved her, and I was holding her hand when I said goodbye.
Beautiful. No, and that's you're a man of faith, and you've been inspired to sing all these songs over the years because of the love and the joy of all of that God has given you and your wife and your kids.
Yes.
And now you lose your wife. You continued on singing and doing the ministry. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And you have 5 kids.
I have 5 children.
5 children. That is awesome.
And it's not an easy road.
Not an easy road.
But
I've never
He didn't
been
say
there.
it would be.
Yeah.
But He said the retirement's out of this world. So
I lost my father 11 years ago. That was a toughie. I couldn't imagine, and I'm not going to sit here and try, to losing a wife or a soulmate.
I want to share with you guys. I feel inspired to do this. I wrote this song, and I was holding her cold hand and kneeling down her bed as she was passing. And the words say, the natural mind cannot conceive how great it's going to be. We'll all have a brand new body that will last for eternity. And at that great homecoming, the Lord will take a hand.
Beautiful.
That's
You wrote that
beautiful.
at your wife's.
He'll open up all mysteries. That's when we'll understand. Heaven's no dream. It's reality. And if people could believe that today, David, the churches would be full. And it said, heaven's no dream, it's reality. It's where the saints shall reign eternally. Where streets are paved pure gold by life's crystal sea. Unreal this may seem, heaven's no dream. All the death, sorrow, and heartache will all be wiped. There will be no more night there, for God's glory will shine always. Oh, how I long to go there.
Yeah. All right.
And I do.
Amen. That's awesome.
Eyes have not, I still believe, David.
You still believe?
All God's promised me,
Right.
but heaven's no dream.
Right. Right. It's going to be a reality. Yeah.
It is. It is.
And your wife's there.
And
Ex-wife.
she
yeah.
took her last breath.
Okay.
By the time I got done with them words, she took her last breath.
Oh, wow.
And she went home, man.
Yeah.
And
Beautiful.
she's in a better place.
So people that are
Sorry.
maybe, no, that's okay. People that are in, we're doing in the next issue, I believe, or the Christmas issue, Your Stories magazine. So if you
Beautiful.
if you guys want to read
Awesome.
more about this and more in depth, it'd be wonderful. It'd
Sure.
be a good read. To tell somebody, just real quick, before, I think you have a song you're going to sing for us too,
Okay,
right?
sure.
We have a live performance from Jeff Davis. That is awesome. Our first
Thank you.
live.
Yes.
It's
We've-
a beautiful song.
Thank you.
I
You've
love
heard it.
I've heard
And
it.
I
know
was,
the words.
give you a little insight on this. Through a friend that works at Homeland Entertainment, Scotty Gotze, he's a very dear friend. He used to sing with his daddy in the Northman, and they hired him to be the manager production guy at the studio there. And he found out I was living in Newport, Tennessee, and he asked me to come to Nashville. And I met him, and he wanted me to get behind the piano and sing for some guys. And one of them men was that played piano for Elvis Presley.
Oh, Mr. Presley.
And he loved this song and wanted to put this song down and plays piano on this song.
The
So
song you're singing tonight.
the song I'm singing tonight, I was there.
Oh, I'm honored.
So I'm in my music studio and I'm
Awesome.
saying, God, we start feeling sorry for ourselves,
Yeah.
and we start playing that fiddle and, whining. And get some cheese with that cracker,
Hey, I'm whining.
I was on my
co-host.
knees. I was on my knees, and the Lord, in His own special way, He spoke to me and said, "Tell me one time that I wasn't there. Out of all the trials in your life, out of all the times you were in the hospital with pneumonia and cellulitis and lung surgery and lived in an oxygen tent for a year
You did.
from 4 to 5 years old in children's hospital, expecting to live. Tell me one time, Jeff, that I wasn't there for you, that, I let you down. Can you tell me one time?"
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, through all the loved ones that's died and gone to be with the Lord, through all the loss of a wife, it seemed like I was before my, wife would go.
Sure.
She was always healthy, and I was always in the hospital and battling different things, and cellulitis in my leg, and diabetes, and all these things. And I never dreamed that Deb would go to heaven first. And I said, "No, Lord, I can't think of a time that you weren't there for me throughout my life."
Yeah.
And so that's what the birth this song. I was there.
The name of the song?
This is
I was
the
there.
name of the song. I was there.
Well, can you sing
Let
that for
it,
us
I
now?
would love to sing it for you right now. Listen to the words and let it bless you.
I would love to hear it.
I was there.
I was there with Jeff Davidson.
I was there every time you fell down. I was there, your strength carry on. When it seemed you lost the battle, it became mine. I gave you victory and overcome. All those times when no one cared, I was there.
There are times when I feel so weak and lowly. There are times I'm overwhelmed with earthly care. Then I fall down on my knees, pray for the answer, and then your sweet voice me, goodbye despair. I was there every time you fell down. I was there, your strength to carry on. And when it seemed you lost the battle, it became mine. I gave you big, helped you overcome all those times when no one cared. Yes, I was there. I don't know how they ever lived without you, with all the troubles that there are and deep despair. But friend, you don't have to live another day without him. He calls to you with open arms, his love to share. I'll be there every time you fall down. I'll be there, your strength to carry on. And when it seemed you lost the battle, it will be mine. I said I'll give you victory, help you overcome. And all those times when no one cared, I said I'll be there, I'll be right there. And all those times when no one cares, I'll be there. I'll be there.
That was beautiful.
Jeff,
Thank you.
what a wonderful song, my Lord. That is amazing.
That song touches me. I love that song.
But
I
that
had
doesn't come
goosebumps.
easy. Yeah,
Thank you.
that doesn't come easy. That's from a lot of hurt, and what a wonderful song.
a lot of trials and
A lot of
things.
trials.